Welcome to Bigfoot
and the Bunny.
This is a couple's journey into the mysterious,
the unknown, and the paranormal.
I'm your host, Chris Carr.
And I'm your host, Kristen Johnson.
Together we are Bigfoot and the Bunny.
There's a legend in these parts about Bigfoot. As he was wandering through the forest, he thought about having a podcast. And he walked and thought and walked and thought. Then he came across a little bunny and he pondered, I wonder if that bunny would be my co-host. And the rest, it was history.
Right on. Alternative intro.
Yeah, it's from our friend Dr. Michael Lynch.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Mike.
Love you, Dr. Mike.
Love breaking that out once in a while. Just kind of cracks us up.
Yeah, it does.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
There's our family.
Yeah, they are. We feel pretty special for a couple podcasters from New England.
I told them not to do that, but yeah, it's kind of funny.
A couple podcasters. Hi, guys. Oh, I see Mr. Scott Horn. You see what I'm wearing, buddy? Horns up, buddy. Yeah, no, we're about to give you a big shout out. And hello, Carol. Hello, Anne.
Hello, family.
Hello. Yes, and we wanted to thank a whole bunch of people.
A whole bunch of people. And like I said on the page, if I forget your name, please let us know.
Mr.
Because
Greg Koss.
Hi, Greg. Family. Are you ready?
Yeah, here we go. But big shout out, especially I'll leave this one because I got the toys.
Yep. It's a big shout out to Kim and Scott Horn and Mary Lynn Bast from Horn Paranormal Research.
Yes. We got the devices, we got the toys, got the hat. And the hat does look good. And
yeah, it does.
We love you guys. I'm glad you got home safe. We're super psyched and stoked. You had a hell of a ride home.
I was worried.
And just so everybody knows, we're thanking these people because we went to the Haunting at the Mill event last week.
Hagood Mill.
Hagood.
Is it?
We say it wrong all the time.
We do. No.
Hagood.
Hagood Mill.
Hagood.
That's the one we weren't supposed to say. It's the Hagood Mill.
Hagood. Yeah, we thought it was the Hapgood for a while, which is this awesome haunted area. They do have other events there, but it is haunted, as we found out. There's a bunch of different buildings. I wanted to share a couple of pictures, actually, and maybe we'll get into that. We're going to specifically be talking about, I believe it is this building here tonight. So we got a ton of data, like so much stuff to go through.
A lot.
And we came across a spirit box session in this Burdine cabin. These pictures that I'm going to show you, by the way, are compliments of Jennifer Lee of Raven Paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jennifer, for allowing us to do it.
Thank you.
Screwed the pooch on our pictures for whatever reason.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened. We just did
the
not
Horns
take
don't
enough
know what happened.
pictures for some reason. They got petroglyphs there. They have all kinds of stuff. I'll show you a picture of the petroglyphs. Stuff is so cool. Let me make that bigger. I'll move that one. And it doesn't let me change. Damn you, StreamYard.
We just went through this like all day.
I know, right? You saw our lead-in picture. That's the mill itself with the big water wheel. And there's a variety of like cabins and other structures there, and petroglyphs. And I'll show you those. Those are some of them there. There's a little history of the mill I'll show you, but yeah, we zoom in on that. You can see that these are pretty much prehistoric Native American petroglyphs. I forget the dates. Do you remember the dates, babe?
No, at the moment, no. I'm wicked sorry. This is squirrely. Kim, where are you?
Yeah, it's listed in the National Register of prehistoric historic places in 1972, 2003. Prehistoric Native American rock carvings called petroglyphs, long buried under a 19th century road, were discovered here and preserved in place. They feature 17 human figures and other carvings. and this was all in Pickens, South Carolina.
Mhm.
So quite a ride. Quite a ride.
It
The
was 18 hours.
Hagood Mill is a grist mill. Was rebuilt in 1845 by James Earl Hagood, son of Benjamin Hagood, who had bought it in 1825. James E. Hagood, a planter and merchant, served in the South Carolina House and was a longtime Pickens District and U.S. District Clerk of the Court. Hagood Mill, commercially operated mill until 1966. Features a 20-foot water wheel, one of the largest in South Carolina. So, yeah, super cool. This was put on by Brandon Cooper.
Yes,
which
Brandon.
I know a lot of you guys know. He's been on our show several times. We love Brandon. He's our shamanic brother. He is a one cool dude. And we camped out next to the Horns. Horns up.
Horns up.
Who were more than kind.
Oh my God.
Are
They're
just
awesome.
the most wonderful people. So love you guys.
Yes.
And and Mary, Dr. Mary Barrett. We're going to talk about you too. Do you want to start your list?
Yes. After the Horns, we have Anne Marie and Doug Young, Lynn Monet and Bill Metz. You go. Bill. Tailgating
with Bill. That's why we didn't get enough pictures to him.
I believe that's
right?
that was
Hanging out by
why.
the pickup truck.
I'll tell you, you are such a sweet person.
Making
and
some
God,
German sausages.
It's like our family right there.
Yeah.
Becky Evans, thank you. Jim and Melissa Rupert, Bonnie Sanderson Cribben, I'll get this all out. Terry Marks, Kim Brady, Sam Baltrusis. We love you. Thank you. Jennifer Lee, which we had mentioned before from Raven Paranormal. Dr. Mary Barrett.
Dr. Mary Barrett just said
Now-
hello in our audience. Dr. Mary Barrett gave me a past life regression. She does past life regression hypnosis. You can see Dr. Mary and Jennifer Lee at various events. And I suggest you follow these guys. They're going to come on our show. We're going to talk to them. But I'm telling you, this was so freaking cool. I love this kind of stuff. It should put me into a relaxed state and got my subconscious to start talking. I mean, apparently I've got a number of past lives. And in one of them, I was an 8-year-old girl. What was my name again?
Alice.
Like big. Yeah.
Alice
Piedmont, which is this weird thing because there's a big town in South Carolina called Piedmont. So I wondered if it had something to do with it. Maybe I'd seen it. I wasn't aware of it consciously, but maybe my subconscious had seen that name. But it kept coming up like right after, which was really strange. Like in conversations and
we saw it on a license plate. It was really weird.
Katie Stafford at the hotel. There was a car parked in our room that had a big Piedmont license plate on it right in the front. It was just crazy stuff. Like after, I'm like, oh my God. But apparently I died in that car crash, and it was a really cool experience. So I suggest you look into that, and we'll be posting links and again, talking to them soon.
Yes. Forgive me for not tagging everybody. This was a lot.
And I'm sure we're going to leave some people out. I'm so
yes,
sorry.
I did that on my page. So please let me know in the comments or on the show. And, we can say your name or we'll do a follow-up as well.
I'll do our best. As a couple of podcasters from New England.
You're so funny. Barnaby Jones and Ma from Caps. You guys are wonderful. Thank
Wisconsin
you.
Caps.
Yes. Our Haunted Lives. Thank you. And we will be reaching out.
We'll
to
definitely
you.
be in touch. And,
yes. Thank you. Litriana Terry Brown.
Yes.
She'll be coming on.
She's coming on with the cast of Repossessed, a show currently on Hulu. And she's super cool. She's also part of the Dominion Ministries along with us. And we're proud to be part of that.
We are very proud. Stephanie Smith from the Shanley. She is a tour guide there. And Chris goes, make sure you write down. She's got creepy dolls.
Yeah, she does. She makes her own really creepy dolls, and some of them are haunted.
Kim, Rick, and Trevor Wegstrom. I got that right. Thank you, Trevor. He was with us with Marilyn Bast and I, and doing the experience with the little girl that we had. She didn't want to leave. Flip Searles. He was tailgating right next to Mr. Bill Metz.
That was a little girl spirit, just to
Yeah,
clarify.
sorry,
It wasn't
sorry.
just some random girl off the street. Just like,
We're
leave me
so
alone.
professional. Okay.
Hold my hand.
Yeah, come down.
No.
It was an experience we had. We
yeah.
do have it, but we haven't gotten to it yet.
Yes.
So Trevor,
it's
I'll
in
let
our
you
data.
know.
We got some cool stuff
Yeah.
on that too for another episode.
So I said Rex Nielsen. Oh, goodness. And Flip Searles. We were tailgating. I just want to, the Dodge truck. That's all. That's how that started. He was tailgating next to Mr. Bill Metz. James from 30 Dark, what is it? Dark 30 Paranormal. Thank you.
30 Dark.
Yep. 30 Dark. Oh, you're the one that kept saying Dark 30. Maybe write that down. So 30 Dark Paranormal.
Dark 30.
I'm going to kick your butt. KD and KT.
Stafford.
That's right. From
Of Supernatural Inc.
Thank you so much. You guys are so much fun. And you will be coming on our podcast.
Yeah, they're on in a couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks.
I think it'll be next week.
I think it's
gotta
next
check
week.
with Katie.
Yeah. And of course, Mr. Brandon Cooper, Anna Layton Cooper, and Brandon Cooper. Like we were saying earlier, you are our shamanic brother, and my God, thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Great event, and I know Brandon's making plans to have it again next year. So hopefully we're helping to sell it and not hurt it. Talking about these little girls and long lists of people, and it's going to get even weirder. So stick around.
Yes.
The
Podcast is
So we were going through some of our data last night. I'm just kidding, of course.
Yeah.
Scott, let me know. It's Dark 30 Paranormal. I don't know why I say 30 Dark. And James is a good guy. He was in our group that we went around with on Friday, I believe it was.
It was Friday night.
Yeah.
And somehow Chris and I got separated. It was from the little girl spirit with Mary Lynn Bast and Trevor. So that's why we went our separate ways and found, each other later.
Yeah, we did.
Well, no, I was going to say we met different people.
We did. So yeah, we ended up meeting some different people.
Like
Anyway,
Whitney.
some people didn't get to meet too. Whitney is in our recording. So let me try to clarify this. We're now rejoined, Kristen and I, and we're in the attic of the Burdine cabin, which is a cabin that's apparently moved location something like 4 times. It's kind of weird, and we were getting some crazy activity outside of the cabin before going in. And Kim was there. Kim Horn. She had her SLS cam. These guys make the best SLS cams, and we are so adding one to our collection, Scott and Kim, soon. So we'll be in touch about that. But she was filming it, and she was filming something around me. I was sitting on the porch, and we had a Horn Paranormal REM pod, a Mel meter REM pod out, a K2 meter, and we're getting some K2 activity, and the REM started going off, and they all kind of went crazy, and she's tracking something moving around me. And then it went over, it touched somebody's hand, and they could feel it. They were feeling like tingling in their hands, and set everything off. And then the camera battery just died. And it was only at 70 or 75%. It was almost fully charged, right? And it just died instantly. She had to go get another SLS cam. So that was crazy. And we're going to try to get that footage from the SLS on here to coincide with some of the audio that we took. So other things that were weird, I was sitting there and all this was going on. I had these same headphones plugged into our field recorder in front of myself and trying to collect stuff. And there are whispery EVPs through this, by the way, Kim and Scott. They're just they're all through it. And it's hard to make out some of the stuff, but you can hear it, that it's there. And at one point it tapped on my actual headphones, and these are like a hard plastic shell. And it's not in the microphone. You don't hear it in the recording, but I heard it. It was like someone went tap, tap. I'm like, wow, that was weird. Somebody just tapped on my headphones. Nobody around in front of me. So yeah, we thought it might've been an elemental, but I'm not really sure now in retrospect, having listened to this session from within the cabin and the attic of it later, what it was. I would say at least what we talked to in the cabin is weird. And I wanted to preface it with a little bit of information because, when you listen to the recording straight up, you do hear answers, you hear stuff, but you don't hear all the stuff. And to really dig down, we used a little noise reduction in Audacity, and I'll display how I did that on the screen. And we've found And, we don't use that all the time, but we will if we hear things that are kind of sound like they're buried in a mix,
Mm-hmm.
and it helps separate it. It's manipulating the data. I get all that. Sometimes some people don't like to use that, but we do, because it's our feeling that if the thing is making complete logical sentences, that we haven't manipulated the data that much. We're just simply removing the tones of the static from the recording or trying to muffle them, which brings out other things. Toby, the child spirit that we encountered at Spider Gates a couple of years ago, and we talk about that story a lot, was a case of that. We could hear Toby, he was answering our questions, but when we took out some of that noise from the spirit box, it was so much more that he had to say, and it was all in the same voice. You could clearly hear it. Same kind of situation here. So I'm going to work through some of this data. We were listening to it last night, wrote down some of the things that were said, and we have headphones on. You do not.
That's the
most
thing.
likely. So I'm going to try to go and amplify the different words and phrases so that you can hear them through the stream with us and go through some of that data. And we'll just do that for a while.
Suggest that if you watch it back, please put headphones on because you can hear it better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please. Yep.
Yeah. Kim says, I'm curious to see what the audio on SLS picked up as well. Absolutely. I'm hoping you have some of those EVPs too.
Yes.
And I'm going to upload some of those. I finally get done with this, out to SoundCloud or something, so you can just listen to the entire files and do with what you will. I like to do that so people can say, oh, you made that. No, you can listen to it too. Here's the raw files and figure it out.
Right.
So with that said, again, I think we were talking to a fragment of a soul, right? So this term soul fragments gets thrown around a lot, and we do know a little bit about it and wanted to talk about it. We really like the concept of three souls, and I don't know if you're familiar with that or not, but I'm going to read you some of my notes on this. I first came across this reading this book here, Psychic Witch by Matt Oren. It's a really, really good book, probably the best-selling metaphysical book out there for the last few years. It's a big book. It's a metaphysical guide to meditation, magic, and manifestation, but he gets into some really great topics in here, and it's super useful. And one of the topics he gets into, I think it's chapter 6, is the three souls or three cauldrons. And I think that chapter is called The Triple Souls of the Witch, which describes a pagan, shamanistic, spiritual tradition, depending on your particular path, of a concept that the soul is divided into parts that work both together and independently and autonomously. This is what we're referring to essentially when we talk about soul fragments. On a high level, one could view them as mind, body, and spirit, or higher, lower, and middle selves. This is sometimes referred to as the three souls, three walkers, or three cauldrons, among other terms and labels. Three Cauldrons refers to a 16th century Irish poem called The Cauldron of Posey. And Matt does a fantastic job detailing that in his book. You can also look that up on, Dr. Google or YouTube and find a lot of information on the Cauldron of Posey. Super interesting. It's an entire show in itself. But the gist here is that the soul is not just one cohesive unit, like I think we tend to think of it, like a ghost just, their spirit has left the body and it's shaped like the body and it walks around. But really, it's actually different parts. Okay. And that's what that chapter delves into. And it's a really cool concept to think about. The lower self is typically the primal, animal, emotionally charged part of the soul. And can act, again, autonomously on its own, which is what we think we encountered in the cabin.
Which is, I don't know if at that point, is it stuck to the land that's scarred?
We don't that's the frequency vibration part, right? We're going to get into that. The higher self is the part of the spirit closest to divinity. It's the part that knows the right thing to do and it's for the greatest good. And I think we're all kind of familiar with that, right? And people talk about higher vibration and
raise your vibration.
A lot of mediums are trying to talk to that higher self when they're communicating with our loved ones. They're not really trying to communicate with the lower self. They're like, let's talk about the higher vibration. And that's kind of where that fits in. And we'll talk about the vibration frequency. The middle self is kind of where it all conjoins. And that's our physical body, our physical reality. The ability to reason is part of that. it's the part of us that makes us different than the animals, right? And actually, I'll read you something, and this is cool. It's where it kind of like fits into the paranormal. And I hope Matt doesn't mind me doing
We're
this. I'm
getting
gonna
to it.
Read from his
Yeah.
book just a little bit. And I totally recommend you guys get this book if you're interested in psychic abilities, witchcraft, or any of those kind of esoteric things with your paranormal. This is like a super good book. Upon death, the lower self merges back with the ancestors and over time becomes of a fluid collective entity rather than an individual consciousness. If the lower self is rejected for some reason by the ancestors, meaning they find the incarnation's choices in life so objectionable that they refuse to allow that self to return to the collective consciousness, feeling there's absolutely no redeeming qualities that will enhance their pool collective and that there's nothing positive to contribute, the lower self becomes what is known as an immortal psychic vampire or a hungry ghost. Since the lower self is continuously collecting life force from its connection to the land and the environment, the rejected lower self is unable to do this without the shell of a physical body. Therefore, it seeks out those who are living to drain them of their life force energy. These are intelligent, parasitic beings and are usually what is described by non-psychics and witches as demonic activity or poltergeists, looking to continually disrupt the lives of the living and induce states of fear, grief, and anger, which they feed upon.
And that's where we're going with the EVP, the spirit
Box
box and
session.
EVPs.
Because there's some really crazy stuff here.
We were here for hours.
And it never stops talking. So while we're getting some replies that seemed intelligent and some that were a little undiscernible, when we started to remove the static, we realized there's a voice here and it's repeating itself over and over. It's just like in this continual loop. And we think that is a case of it just losing the vibration of what we call reality, right? And I'm going to reference something else. We're getting deep tonight, guys.
Yes, it's kind of heady, but it works. We'll break it down for you, and it really works.
You got any of those funny candies or,
Where's the candy man? Where's Gary?
Gary.
Another one I forgot to mention.
Enjoy this. And what I'm actually going to read from now is a little bit of the CIA's undisclosed now report. It has been for a while.
It's the Gateway, correct?
Of the Gateway Project. And the Gateway Experience Project was developed by Robert Monroe, I believe in the 1970s. Robert was a pioneer in writing about astral projection, and he developed a program for getting out of body. And it still exists today. And you probably heard about Gateway. It's really cool, actually. You can get the recordings, some of which are on YouTube, or you can buy the CDs, or go to the Monroe Institute because it still exists, and take classes and learn how to get out of body in a way. But what the CIA was doing was like, well, what is this out of body? And, is it legitimate? And what's going on? The people that went there, let me get their names here real quick. Let's see. The report that the CIA released there was produced by Itzhak Bentoff, an Israeli-American engineer in biomedicine, and Colonel Wayne McDonald, who writes most of it. He's a U.S. Army lieutenant. He went through the program and basically wrote that it worked, and he explains why. And some of this explanation is a little heady, but it is good in terms of thinking about vibration, thinking in terms of frequency, and what our reality really is, and what are we looking at when we're investigating the paranormal, which is really anything outside of those realities, right? As it touches our reality, we see it, and it tries in all sorts of ways. But to understand that, we need to understand consciousness a little bit. So consciousness and energy. Before, this is coming right out of the report, before our explanation can proceed any further, it is essential to define the mechanism by which the human mind exercises the function known as consciousness and describe the way which that consciousness operates and to deduce the meaning from the stimuli which it receives. To do this, we will first consider the fundamental character of the material world in which we have our physical existence in order to accurately perceive the raw stuff for which our consciousness must work. The first point which needs to be made is that two terms, matter and energy, tend to be misleading if taken to indicate two distinctly different states of existence in the physical world that we know it. Indeed, the term matter is taken to mean solid substance, as opposed to energy, which is understood to mean a force of some sort. And then the use of the former is entirely misleading. Science now knows that both the electrons which spin in the energy field located around the nucleus of the atom and the nucleus itself are made up of nothing more than oscillating energy grids. Solid matter, in a strict construction of the term, simply does not exist. Rather, atomic structure is composed of oscillating energy grids surrounded by other oscillating energy grids which orbit at extraordinarily high speeds. So breaking that down, that basically means that nothing is really solid. Everything is within a spectrum that our minds can perceive. Right.
So if you're holding something like this, right, you can feel it. The nerves can feel it. Everything, and you can't see it break apart or anything.
That's right. We're in a frequency.
It's solid. We're in the frequency.
And that's within a frequency. It's within a range that we can perceive it.
Right.
But it's not truly solid. And I think we've all kind of heard that, everything's made of atoms and, that's not, but it's because those energy fields are oscillating, moving around themselves at a range of frequencies that works with us, with our human condition. And that includes things like our eyes, right, which only see a part of the electromagnetic spectrum or light. We only see part of it. There's things like infrared that we don't see with our eyes.
Right.
We have special cameras and lights and all that.
I have a thing with that.
Same thing with our ears, which hear a certain range. Mm-hmm. We know echolocation from bats. We don't hear it, but it's there. We can measure it. That is kind of what we're getting at with this gentleman that we talked to. Gentleman is used loosely in the cabin, because I think in this state, the soul fragment, his lower self is stuck in a vibration, a frequency that we just can't really interpret. And he's trying his damnedest to talk to us through the box, and it just comes across as a loop, and it keep hearing the same repeating phrases over and over, and then it deviates, kind of answering our questions. It bemoans itself.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's really crazy. Some of it is so out there. It was also racist. I'm not even going to play that.
Some things here we go. Okay.
There's things I'm not going to play.
Things we can't play.
It got so dirty that
racist.
Had to take that out as well.
Yeah,
and won't play those parts.
To others, friends, and family, but we can't put it on our show.
Yeah,
it's bad.
No, I definitely can't. So let me bring up Audacity. Okay, this is a free program we use to listen to our recordings. It's a great program. It's great for like clipping and editing them, to amplify parts, slow them down if need be, to make out the words more clearly about what was being said. And I'm going to share the screen. 1 second. Or not. Of course, now it's not coming up.
Of course not. I don't know how many times we've tested this
we
today.
Tested this like 3 times today, and it worked just fine. Come on.
Reggie, I was just wondering if you had your helmet with you when you went to the other one.
Oh, God. Oh, there it is. Okay. Well, that was scary. So everything is contingent on the way we have to set up. It could have been tragic. All right, guys. So that's Audacity, and I'll play a little bit of the main track so you know what it sounded like, raw, untouched. And hey, guys that just joined, what's going on? Hey, Reggie, Linda, Chris, how you doing? I'm going to start it here.
She's got a supernatural link one going on. This one's good one. That's how we got her. We're like,
is that a spirit one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's supernatural one too. All right. I want to hear this one. That's what you want to hear. Let me bring a recorder. I'm going to listen in real time.
Yeah. Okay, I just heard leave as we're going up the stairs. There are upstairs, right?
Okay, so that probably didn't sound like a whole lot because most of that is actually in the static. And I'm going to play what that sounds like a little bit cleaned up. Can you guys hear it? Is it loud enough there? If you can,
Please
if
let
there
us
are
know if
words,
it's
are
loud
you
enough.
able to hear the words on the radio? Let me know. I can
Us.
make it a little louder. Kimberly asked if she needs to get the Jiffy Pop.
I
Oh, yeah.
saw.
You do. You do.
No, you don't.
We're going to take, well, it's everything is fine, but we're going to take you through quite a little journey here. Hopefully, I'm just hoping it's coming through the stream loud enough.
I don't know if you guys would like to tell us if you can hear.
Yeah, I'll try to make things
Please.
as loud as possible.
Yes.
So, this is going to blow you away. What's actually was just said in that little section is the following: "Let me out, witch. Let me hate heaven. Don't mention of magic, sex magic. Master, don't forget about our pact. Our pact. Help me, let me out. I'm scared. You'll leave me here. Take off, master. Weave our fate, but distant. You left me out. However, but thank you. Break me out of heaven. Get me out of there. In there. Lead me out. Lead me out." Okay. And like, all right, yeah, Chris, yeah. What are you smoking? Like, where did that come from?
No,
Right?
it really does say that.
But it really does.
You have to.
Now, again, we
listen
got
to
the
that.
headphones on, so I'm going to do our best. And I can accentuate and amplify words and try to make this better in our stream.
It's the lowest voice.
Let me, yeah. So kind of the low one's kind of gruff. It's the master actually sounds like metallic. It's like master.
Like master of puppets, master.
It is super clear. And once you hear it, you can't unhear it. Let me play this a little bit cleaned up now. I haven't done a noise sample of the static and removed the static through Audacity through its noise reduction functionality.
See, she's got a supernatural life on going on. This one's good. That's how we got her.
You know, I know this needs to be louder, so I'm just going to amplify now.
Do it.
There's no way it's going through the stream that great. Let's try this. There we go. This should be a little better.
See, she's got a supernatural life on going on. This one's good. That's how we got her.
Is that a spirit one?
Yeah. Okay.
What's supernatural life? Alright, let's switch to one here. We bring a recorder. We'll listen here in real time.
Ebony? Master.
Yeah.
Here.
Okay, I just heard leave as we're going up the stairs. There are upstairs, she's right.
Out of heaven. Get me out of there. Let me see how that's doing. Are you guys able to hear any of
Yes.
that? Okay, Carol says just wow.
It's the lowest.
Greg says crazy. I'm hoping you're getting it.
Oh,
It is. It's at times there are multiple voices saying multiple things, and we're going to get to a point where we're trying to get it to count like how many people are in the room or how many people died in the house.
It's not.
And it just gives us like a whole bunch of numbers, sometimes
Random.
simultaneously. It's saying like 5 and 8. You'll hear it in different frequencies at the same like bump in the Audacity, and like, what? That's crazy. Bob says she can hear it good. Amazing you can make out any words. Linda says, yeah. Well, we do work at this.
Yes. It's a lot.
But you got to kind of hear, once you hear the frequency of the voice,
yes,
it'll make more sense.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to take you through it. I mean, this is the best we could do. I mean, we'd have a word or two off, obviously, in here, but this is what we're getting. And you're going to hear him say, get me out, leave me out, like a lot through this whole recording. It's just over and over. And he never really stops talking for any length of time. Let me out. Get me out.
Crazy.
And clearly it's like stuck. You know, it's stuck.
This is the second time we've had this happen that we know of.
Yeah.
Well, third, maybe with the AM.
I think it's just really what Matt wrote in that book about being rejected by the ancestors, and it had no redeeming value based on the things he says to us, because he does get nasty, like really nasty,
vulgar, very vulgar.
Necks, and the sex shit with the women in the room is just unbelievable. He's again racist, and you know, just
very racist.
You know, we're not even going to play that.
Awful.
Stuff. It's
I can't believe we
a
could
terrible
actually
person.
Hear this. It was a horrible person,
right?
Which is why we're trying to figure this out. You know, with the souls, the fragmented souls.
Linda, no, it is not a residual energy, because it answers our questions. It gives us counts and different things, but it is in a loop. So it's tied in kind of with that idea of residual. I think it is stuck in place. We don't know if it's the land or what. We think it's that lower self we were talking about of this person. Their higher self probably did ascend and go back into a collective, and was the best parts of the person. The lower self, the emotional, it's animalistic instincts, it's lust for sex and murder, and hate stayed and are stuck. So that's the answer for that. Greg asked the same thing about it being residual.
Don't think so, because he answers us,
because it does give us intelligent answers. So I'm going to say no on residual.
Kim's right. Yes, he is trapped. But there's a good reason, I think, why he's trapped. I don't think anybody should go there and remove him and put him into the light, or that part of him.
Kim says, I feel it's trapped and contained right there.
Yeah.
It is there. It's able to talk. It's doing everything it can to talk to us through the box.
Yes.
So let me play a little more for you. Getting out of here. You take them back. Take me out. Take me out. It's going to say that a few times.
What's your name? Why is it on?
It said, what's your name? It kind of replied something like assassin there.
Assassin.
I'll play that again. Yeah, like, what is that voice, right? Yeah, that wasn't us. Yeah, let me amplify the rest of this. And then I did clip some out for brevity. Hold on one sec, guys. So I'm just going to amplify that.
Yes. Yes, Scott. It was all caught on our digital recorder. What is
several? We have several recorders.
Why is it on?
I need to set up.
Oh, there's some water downstairs. Hang on. It's here. It's here.
That's
This
what.
is kind of me out. Is there any? Yes. What are we looking at?
You hear how it's like looping?
Let's move out.
Yeah. Lead me out. It's in some kind of personal hell. It
Yeah.
seems. You know, he
That's Wilson.
And when we
hates heaven.
says Wilson,
Break me out of heaven. He thinks he's in heaven, but he considers it hell. Very strange stuff.
get me out of here.
Chris is enough. Yes.
Thank you, Jason.
Sorry,
So
he
yeah,
does say enough.
you do hear that, and I was going to say,
Yes.
it reminds me again of that book, and that lower self just kind of trapped. Oh yeah, because there's a point, and we'll get to it, where we're leaving the cabin. He says, "Get back in the cabin."
Oh yeah, when we were
Right.
leaving the cabin, Kim Horn was with us, and Brandon, and it said Brandon on the box before Brandon even got there.
Mhm.
And while we had left the recorder up there, we went outside and we were talking to Brandon, and sure as heck, it said, "Get back in the cabin." On the
Yeah.
box, it was really creepy.
Yeah, get back in the cabin. It says it a few
It's like
times. Wants us to get back,
It wants our energy.
and that goes back to the psychic vampire that was mentioned in Matt's book, Matt Arendt.
Right.
Psychic witch. That's what he says. They become in it. I'd be damned if he isn't right. It
Yeah.
wants us there. It's getting something from us. It's getting
Right.
our energy or something. The more it gets, the more it talks, and it's just
It's
really happy that we're there, and probably wanted to make us a lot more miserable than we were. And we were all kind of happy. We were all kind of really excited to be together. So I think we kind of overlooked some of the negativity that might have been going on because we were like, oh,
we
we're
were
pumped,
just
you
looking
know.
happy. We
It
had
was like the first investigation of the weekend, and
right, and we
hanging
with
out with our
family
friends, and
friends, and
love these guys.
so who's with us is Whitney, who is a student for the blacksmithing that goes on at during the Hagood Hagood
Yeah.
mill.
We're podcasters
from Rhode
Island.
So professional. And like I said, Whitney is, I don't know her last name, but this is one of our sessions with you.
Love you, babe.
Yeah, we do. Oh, sorry, don't do
And
that.
you.
Mary Lynn Best. I'm not even going to go there with what I said to you the other night, but she was there. Kim Brady was there. Becky Evans was there. And Kim Horn had to leave because of the battery being drained. She went and got another one and came
And
back.
she came back. And she
Right.
was on it too.
And that's who's with us. So there's 6 of us with Chris and I.
Mhm.
And yeah, it just gets the numbers is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
How
we're
many
gonna
up
get to the
there?
numbers. I
Yeah,
forget how
they've like 2, 10, 9, 8. It's really bizarre.
to do this segment here.
Sorry. I have to duct tape this chair too soon.
All right. And is everybody still able to hear everything okay? See some wows. All right, cool. This is very dark. Oh, you don't even know, Kim.
Oh, it's so bad.
Like I said, I'm gonna end up putting it out on SoundCloud, and I'll send you a link so you guys have it, and you can listen in, and I'll post that probably this coming week. Debbie says maybe he's trying to get you to free him. Well, he is.
Yes.
He's constantly saying, "Lead me out, get me out, break me out of heaven," is one of the better quotes in there. Like, really? That's kind of twisted. Calling for his master, "You left me here," and this sort of thing, and it just kind of loops. Lead me out, lead me out. And it's like constantly, and then there'll be some other thing that it says.
And then it'll answer us at some point, and then calls us witches and sluts. And I'm not even getting into the rest of it because it's so awful.
He wanted to do really bad things to ladies.
He
but
told us to do shit.
And when my name's mentioned, he's like, "I'll break his neck."
Yes. And then he repeats neck. Neck. It's so messed up.
Yeah, it's crazy. Let me play a little more. Again, if the volume gets too weird, please just let us know. I can also slow down like certain words and phrases. It helps. In fact, let me drop this. The tempo of this is not going to change any of the pitch. I'm going to drop the tempo 20% here. Maybe that'll make it a little easier to make out.
There you go.
You just said here's place. In a small box earlier too. That doesn't matter. So there's the needle up here.
Let me restart this. This is the one that starts with Wilson.
And he says Wilson.
Yeah, answer. Yeah, it is. Okay, so Wilson is a sort of a trigger object, and there's more to Wilson. You've probably heard us talk about him. He's behind us. He's like a human model of a skull, and we put that out on a floor. And we were just talking about Wilson prior to him saying this. We brought him up, and I've skipped ahead a little bit because it's a long recording. And I started here, and he kind of responds and says, Wilson is a head. Lead me out. You take them back. Take them back. Take me out. Take them back. Let me out. Then, okay, this must be the thing where my name gets mentioned. He says, let me break his neck.
Yep.
And he goes, neck, neck, neck. And it's like six
Looping
times.
that.
Then it goes into a little bit of nastiness. Some F-bombs, bitch, in and out, gonna eat you.
Don't even
Eat out. I'll come and eat you.
Yeah.
Let me get out, eat you. So let me play this.
There you go.
You just said here's place. In a small box earlier too. That doesn't matter. So there's the needle up here. Okay, sorry, I'm a little elaborate on that.
Take them back.
Is there a male spirit there with
back.
us? Yeah. Yeah, sorry.
Did you watch it today?
Neck.
So what's saying with it on the floor? What are your names? What should we call you?
There's a little girl in here as well.
Mark?
That's what I call her too, Mark. Each.
Eat you.
What is the name of the person who's sick? Yeah. Awesome. Sometimes following is lonely. Yes. Yeah, you do. I think so. Really? I started anxiety that felt good. Belly. I was like, oh, that's so now that I'm over there. It's a crazy thing, guys.
What's he saying? Help.
Eat her out.
Oh, he's saying eat her out. Isn't that?
I was like,
That's
oh,
nothing.
It's like a little almost EVP sounding thing there.
I was like, oh, that's so now that I'm over there.
Yeah. That too. But that's the one we were trying to figure out.
Eat.
Jack off. So we're only giving you a little bit.
to try to use. And then I did bring in our
Kim thinks she's got an attachment from there.
Yeah, I saw your comment, Kim, and this is
We wondered that.
kind of creepy. I know you guys had a rough ride home.
Yes.
It seemed like you were running into a lot of trouble, and I don't know.
He's there, but God only knows what's around him. That's why we're trying to figure this stuff out.
Yeah.
With the frequencies and vibrations.
On top of that, I don't want to discourage people from going to the location.
Oh God, no.
I think we just tuned into it. We had the right combination of things to get this voice. And this recording is good even untouched. Like it's pretty good. It answers us when we're asking for the numbers, and we'll get to that. It might be the next section. You'll hear it giving us a bunch of different numbers, and you can hear that. I'll play the regular recording. You can hear some of them, but it actually gives us a lot more, and it jumps around and layers the numbers, and it totally didn't care that we're asking, but it recognizes that we asked the questions. Yep. So, going back to an intelligent haunting. Yeah.
Not a residual.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know if this was the same thing we were capturing on the SLS, Kim.
That's what she said,
outside the cabin. I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
We kind of felt like that was an elemental at the time, and maybe had something to do with the river. The bridge is right over there too. But if you remember, the people in the cabin at the time were getting a lot of activity, and there was things going on. And maybe it was leftover from what they were doing. I'm not sure. But let's move on.
Moving on.
I've translated some, but not all of this. There's some of the worst stuff that I'm not going to play. So I'm going to let you guys just kind of hear it, and we can talk about it. As I think the topic itself and this idea of the frequency and vibration of three souls is like super interesting and worthy of discussion.
What are you doing? What should we call you?
This little girl in here as well.
Mark?
That's what I call her too, Mark. H.
Does sound like ancient.
It's not.
Is it ancestor? Or
H.
I thought it was Egypt last
Might
night.
be
We went
Egypt,
through this
yeah.
last night, but it
Yeah.
wasn't. He had a sentence with
We
it.
didn't write it all down.
Yeah.
We had this for a while. We've blown away with it.
what is the name of the person who's sick? Yeah.
Awesome.
Sometimes following is lonely. I picked it up at the bridge. Don't you tell me?
Yes.
Yeah, you do. I think so at the bridge. Really? I started anxiety.
Here it comes.
I know you're there.
I was like, oh, that's what happened over there.
It's a crazy thing, guys.
They eat out.
I tried to text you to get.
Wants to eat out.
Yes.
Don't cook at home. Not cooking at home.
It disgusted me yesterday and last night.
I did bring in a
Yeah, the racial stuff's real bad.
Okay. That's the only thing. Those guys, I don't know what they're doing. I think they're getting more permits when they're going home. So I had to walk up that road.
You want to go back again? I gotta be better.
It was a weird walking that way when I felt that energy. It was crazy.
Oh, there's a whisper in there.
Yeah, 'cause we're typing. I'm typing here.
Let me amplify some of this.
Thank you, Bob.
Again, hopefully you
Okay.
guys are able to hear some of the words. It's always tough on the stream, especially if it's
Yeah.
not super, super clear.
These guys woke up, so we could probably come back in and do it.
I don't know what everybody's out. A lot of people are leaving, and now it's gonna get really just very intense one-on-one type investigations, I think.
Yeah, it's open up there, put it in there.
No, I don't hear the box. I don't know if we stopped it or.
No, it's still going because we're downstairs and the box is upstairs.
The box is swearing.
I can hear him going. Kim said there's lots of swearing. She had headphones on.
Yeah, you do mention that.
So does
What's the girl's name?
Whitney.
Whitney. I think Whitney.
No, Mark.
Yeah, 70% is all I got on it, but
Okay. Yeah, let me skip ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, they were both Supernatural ink boxes that we used. Primarily one that Katie and Katie were handing out to people that attended the event. That was Whitney. And Greg, you would have loved this. It didn't even look like a spirit box. It was kind of like long.
Yeah.
It looked really like futuristic looking. It didn't look like a radio. It looked like a little computer or something. It was definitely some prototype of something. Is where most of this comes from. And that was pretty cool. Kind of neat. If you do an event with those guys, they have some boxes out there that they don't normally sell, or it might be prototypes and different things. So let me just skip up ahead.
Kim, were you with us as well, Kim Warren? There was like 4 Kims.
Kim said. She's talking about the SLS.
So,
Sorry, I don't know how to
yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do that.
I'm listening to the recorder.
This is Whitney.
Right.
This is Kenny.
You can hear it in the background. Still saying, let me out, going on with that.
In the loop.
Which is really the point of like why we're playing this, is that, you know, you're looking for that one phrase or that one thing that comes through, bursts through. But here's something that joins us and never goes away. It's there for over an
How many of
hour
us are sitting here on the
that we're
floor
recording it.
right now with you? Can you see us all? There's 3 something. 6. Are you counting Wilson?
Sure. We need the 6.
This is the numbers game.
I'll flip over to the original untouched recording.
She didn't run away. She went to get more equipment because somebody drained the car out of the battery.
Yeah, and now I'm trying to get the connect up to this so I can see you guys. And for some reason, you're not playing nice with the computer.
And you can hear, let me out. If you listen close, it does come through. But it's not as clear. So take the static out.
Can you tell us who the male is here besides Chris?
That's what I need.
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
Is there a female spirit as well? Can you say hi?
Hi.
Let me amplify some of that.
Yeah.
Coming up. The quieter part.
We also had Kim Morin with us as well. Kim Morin. She's in the audience right now.
Cool.
She's the running as well.
Excellent. Hey, Kim. Yeah. I'm so bad with names. So sorry. Good with faces. For names.
Any questions? Did something happen here?
Kim did it.
That's weird. I heard that too.
What did Kim do?
Hi. I'm Chris.
Well, she didn't run away.
Gone
She went
break.
to get more equipment because somebody drank it. The other day.
Yeah, and now I'm trying to get it connect up to this so I can see you guys. And for some reason, you're not playing my.
I'm gonna amplify a little bit more of this. This quiet stuff, I know it's not probably coming through too good.
Someone has earbuds on.
Good. Are they hearing
Yes.
stuff? Good.
Good Lord, Kim. Horn. It's for Kim's. It's just crazy.
It just never really stops talking.
Do you like clowns?
Yeah, we really pissed him off with that.
It's worse though.
And it gets worse.
Didn't care for the round robin questions.
Are these going to be good? We can hear you better.
Tells me where to go.
What's up? Can you hear
I
that?
heard that.
Thank you for being.
Sounds strange. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you did.
I really can't. Looking at
Kim's light? This box literally whistled us. I'm not kidding. Boxes don't do that.
Yeah.
No. It was you.
Back. Take me back.
Who are you?
Yes.
Okay. Tom? Tim?
Let us know what you guys are hearing in the comments. Appreciate it, especially if you got earbuds or headphones on in some way. Can you make out the voice clearly?
Let's touch this box. Is it the wind or is it really cold in here right now? Wow.
Can you touch these screen lights?
It feels like it's dropping. Yeah.
So that's an interesting part. You hear the recorder breaks up just a little bit, and I think our K2 started going off.
Yep.
It was like there was a rush of EMF in the room, and it was mentioned there the boxes don't do that. And
What happened was when we were inside the cabin with that elaborate box that Whitney had, the first cabin with the little girl, that box actually, it was laughing. They went on the
that's
box,
right.
and so I heard when I finally met Chris and we went up there and we were doing all this, he laughs And that's what I can hear him at that point. And I kept saying, and if you can hear me, I can hear it repeat. And at that point, he had laughed as well. And he really does. When we break it down, he goes, ha, ha, ha. And he says nasty stuff. It's terrible. Yes.
It says
terrible.
leave. He says lead me out.
Lead me out.
It wants to get out of wherever it is. And
nobody
again,
cross
I think
him,
it's in just a
please.
frequency, a vibration that we can't make out. And he can vaguely make us out. We're probably ghost to it as well. It's at least semi-intelligent.
We're trying to process this and figure it out.
Oh, geez, Kim's getting nauseated listening to this.
All right,
sorry,
Kim, it's okay. You can
it
go and
changes.
I'll
What's
message
going on?
you in a
Okay,
bit.
so we get Bob. At some point, it does get colder up there. We were trying to figure out if it was a draft or not, and I think we're talking about it in the background. It did get cold at some point.
But it was cold, so we couldn't,
Christy Ayers, hello.
Hi, Christy.
Echo, hello, Echo Leaf. I thought I heard I'm an alcoholic. Anyone else here? Oh, I don't know if I
What?
heard that.
Oh,
So maybe.
we don't know. Everybody's
worse stuff
ears
than
are, different, and people.
That is interesting, Bob says. Yeah, and again, it's not about the single phrase or whatever. It's about the whole thing. And it's the same entity is there, and you hear the looping, and it's really subtle. The headphones do help.
Okay.
We can hear it even like you hear the one phrase, and then really quietly you'll hear it repeat. And
It's
it just goes on to the next thing. It's all like it's in a loop.
It's the lowest frequency that we could get on the box. That's what he's doing. And he's like taking our energy and the box's energy, everything around, and trying to push it through the box, with that frequency. He does do a little octaves. You are right. But other than that, he just keeps looping and saying really bad things.
Very bad things.
Very bad things. We
Right. It's weird. Listen.
That's what he doesn't have a
This one over there.
Wow.
Do you feel it? Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's outside. I think I
It might be feels like the air's changing over there.
There you go. We're talking about
Yeah,
the cooler.
cold.
When you get a draft, it gets
Definitely
cold.
good use of all the ice. Or it's not cold. Not so much hotter than you go. Yeah, you're up here, but it's cold down. Right. Somebody passed away downstairs in the bed. What's their name?
That's no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Can we try to experiment?
Absolutely.
We ask the same question and we'll go in a circle asking the same question.
And let it go for a little while. I don't see.
Yeah, here it off 1 second.
Numbers next.
Yeah, we really picked this guy off.
It's kind of funny.
We'll go and I'll pick another question. And I'll try to.
So you say everything he says,
You always have to say one, just space it out.
the exact same question?
Yes.
Exactly, but I ground robin. I'm gonna ask you something. Well, whose house is this?
His.
class next section. Now we begin round robin questions, which is to say each person asks the same questions and we go in a circle.
Right. We wait like a couple of minutes and then the next person will ask the same question, wait a couple of minutes, see if we get the same answers.
Yeah. Right. See if we get some kind of validation on that. And I don't think it enjoyed it.
No, it did not. We were laughing last night. Oh, God, we pissed him off even more.
We'll go and insert. That's the same question.
And let it go for a little while. See.
Yeah, give it about 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Be the next person out. So, we'll go and start. We'll pick another question. And I'll try to.
So you just say anything you said?
You always have to say one, just spacing out.
The exact same question?
Yes.
Exactly.
Bob, it is the Burdine cabin
Hey, we're gonna ask you
Mill,
something.
South Carolina, Pickens, South Carolina.
Well,
It's the cabin in the back.
whose house is this?
Makes sense here?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, Linda.
I'm answering that now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whose house is this?
Whose house is this?
They have names, Linda.
Whose house is this? It doesn't mind.
That's what I heard. I heard mine.
Yeah. Over you. Go ahead. Whose house is this? Oh my God! We are.
Is this cabin at 360?
I answered it. Welcome back, Tim.
It's not your phone, right? You all right? You got it.
I'm probably not gonna get this to record and bring anything up.
There we go. Nathaniel knows his shit.
Yeah. Just talking about that one.
Okay.
What you heard, Ann? Effing get out. Oh yeah.
You guys
That's
like
all
that?
that.
experience?
Oh, there's all
more.
kinds of layers. Yeah.
There's even more.
Does anybody have a question?
Hey, it gets nasty, dirty, and racist to boot. In a southern accent, which is
That's
interesting.
really interesting.
Yeah. There are times some of the clearest stuff is actually stuff we can't play.
Hi.
Is N words and things and like
It's awful.
yeah, they're like what? And we had asked her like slave owner things of that nature.
How many people live here?
Here comes the game.
How many people live here?
Sure, you guys see the looping there
Thank you.
That's very believable.
over and over and over.
At least that's one.
How many people? How many people?
Exactly, Bob. Exactly. And even in South Carolina. You know?
That was interesting because of the box. The crime said a whole bunch of stuff right
Yeah,
there
no,
in
they're-
the box.
No matter how you cut it, not fit for radio. So
No,
it's not the radio.
I was sick.
Me too.
It was good that we had the levity between us. Like,
Yes.
that's kind of didn't get pulled into it really. So we were pumped. I mean,
Yeah,
just
we
take
brought
that
the
account.
family with
This
us.
is a place we've been a bunch of times and all that. I think we would have known a little bit more about what we were dealing with.
Oh, no,
But we were at a high vibration, so
yeah, we didn't feel it. There's a lot of peace in here.
yeah, that European, the fact it just doesn't go away. It just
That one.
always talking. That is the point I'm trying to drive home. It's obviously miserable. And, I think it's a low self of some low life.
What are you doing? Whitney, I'm sorry, go ahead. How many people live here? How many people died here?
Ooh,
10.
that's a good one.
He said 10 twice, and she asked, and then she was up.
That's a new
How many
recorder.
people died here?
I do have stuff recorded on analog. I'm still working on getting off though, Carol.
So,
This device
yeah.
here, which is new, but records in an old way, does by cassette. And having some trouble getting MP3s off of it. I do have some of this on there, as well as other sessions. These are 2 big full nights of investigation, so we have a lot of data,
How many people
and
died
we will
here?
revisit some of the big parts. Yes, it is. It's probably our levity, really. The
Yes.
fact that we're having a good time.
It's feeding off of us.
There are times when it gets louder and more pronounced,
Yep.
and it's like waves.
How many people died here?
8.
That was an EVP.
Yeah.
How many people died here?
8.
Oh, you're for real?
27, 11.
Yeah.
7.
I don't see a white one.
2.
Brandon.
Did say Brandon, the box.
No,
did.
that's what the box just said, Brandon.
8.
Okay, Whitney. How many people died here?
F her head.
Why?
Sorry, guys.
It's just the good part.
All right.
Bob says, sounds like 2 people talking at the same time. And it does.
There
And
is.
if you listen close to the recordings, you'll hear even at different frequencies, sometimes different numbers at the
Yes.
same time, which is crazy.
But we're just breaking down this one because he is just looping and disgusting and just there. And we're trying to figure out why. And how.
Oh, there's a P word there. Oops. Someone passed the goalie.
How many people have died in
The
this
hammer.
house?
We weren't sure what that meant.
Actually died in the house.
So we were asking how many died in the house, and it said the hammer.
All the
And
time.
we didn't get much more after that.
And then they go like, they tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the answers. They're getting answers. They're like the numbers.
Yeah. So how many people died in this house?
8, 9, 7.
Like I answered you, what do you want the answer? Yeah, right.
Well, I'm not sure, and I clipped some of that. I didn't want it in here because it's disgusting.
It's disgusting. I keep saying it.
Yeah.
You don't even want to know. We'll send it to you, but it's
Okay, I think it stopped there.
Yeah, it's bad. It's wicked bad.
Let's see. Let's see. About 10:30. I will go a little bit longer, a little bit more. It's a long recording. Let me see where we're at. Oh yeah, like another whole third. But
did we listen to all that though?
yeah, listen to a lot. We just didn't jot down all the things.
What it said, yeah, or what he said.
We'll go a little more and then we'll wrap it up. That is the gist of this, anyways. I think you guys get it and hear the looping effect, and we get to tell you about the 3 souls and
fragmented souls.
Yeah. Soul fragments comes up, and I know myself personally, like I didn't know what people meant by that necessarily when it would come up, and now I kind of get it. It makes sense to me in my head. And yeah, what do you think?
I think the same. We're all trying to figure out the hows and whys, and that actually makes a wicked lot of sense,
It does. So there's some part that would ascend, even in the worst of people, and go back to the collective. But a lot of the physical, emotional stuff, the anger, we wonder where the anger goes. We talk about that sometimes. An emotional outburst. And does it end with just, somebody saying something, or is there an energy or that just moves on? And could those energies collect somewhere and form some of the things we might call demons or something like that?
Right. And then I have the question of, does it go with just the cabin, or because the cabin's been moved like 4 times? What about the land? I have a thing with land, and the land's already scarred, of course. And then you put the cabin on top of it. Was he at the land or was he in the cabin? This is,
right.
A lot of
we
questions.
don't know the total history of that cabin. We
don't
heard
know.
from a historian there that it had moved 3 times, or 4 times, I believe she said. So
Marielle,
maybe,
yes,
something happened with it that carried over. It was also filled with period furnishings and decor, which is all, I think it was 1700s, 1800s, early 1800s. Everything in there was an antique. Talk about haunted objects and panpsychism and the ability of consciousness to pervade some sort of inanimate matter and express itself. Maybe that's what's going on. We're not too sure. It's just things we think about, and we like to share.
Did you own slaves when you lived in this house?
that's the walkie-talkie with Kim Horn.
Yeah, we can change it. It was kind of fun.
What year are you from? 1810 or 1710 or later or earlier. 18? You said they were ancient. Ancient, is that what it was?
Might have been something.
They were ancient.
Yeah.
Ancient, is that what it was? They were ancient. Ancient, is that what it was?
97.
They were ancient. Ancient, is that what it was?
Then it goes right back. Let me
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That's right. They had a water wheel.
Little girl was there.
And heard 1810.
Oh, you mean?
This is the attic of the Burdine cabin. That's correct. Hey, Liz Mills. Hello. Hello, Scotland. Thanks, man.
Here.
Get up.
Wow.
Get up there.
Fantastic.
So the voice is coming through. That's what's messed up. And we're only trying to do right now the lowest frequency.
Who do you like talking to?
How do you are? What was that?
Can you say that again?
There's a radio board.
I'm hearing weird things in here.
Are you bored? Huh? Are you bored? Bored? No. Okay. Yeah, I'm engaged. Okay.
When somebody dies here, where do they bury the bodies?
Somewhere. Somewhere. There is somewhere.
Is there a cemetery?
In the valley? No, in the valley. In the valley. Oh,
Yeah, so that goes on. Go back to where we started. Let me see what this one is here. This is probably slowed down now that you're attuned to hearing that voice.
Yes.
What's clear? Okay, there's master, right? So it's starting with the master part. And I've slowed it down. I think this third line down here is where we've taken it down, slowed it down ridiculously, and tried to notate what was being said. Pet.
Stairs. There are one stairs. Right.
Okay. That's supernatural. Alright, oh my goodness. That's what's going on. You're hearing a recorder. Let's hear it all time.
Gotta love that master.
Yeah,
Master
sounds like
of
Master,
Puppets.
of Puppets from
Master.
that was to say Godsmack Metallica. You're
So,
welcome, Liz Milne.
Yeah, that's a taste of what we've listened to so far. So we'll have some more stuff and hopefully some nice Class A EVPs. We're hoping. See, as we dig through the data. I mean, it took us a lot out of us driving back, as Kim and Scott well know.
Yes,
who had quite the
too.
journey of their own, like worse than us. And we're glad you guys are safe.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, it was 18 hours for us, or a little bit more, with stops because we're just not the spring chickens we used to be. We're podcasters in Rhode Island.
That's what we kept saying. We're like, good Lord, man. We're not like 26 anymore, are we? Good God. Yeah. Oh, Lordy. As Kim Norton would say.
We had a blast, and it was so cool to
Yeah.
hang out with our friends.
It was just a lot. It was a lot because we really wanted to do a lot of things, and it was very sporadic and chaotic. And we, Bill Metz, love you. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Anne Marie.
We got some
thank
great
you.
shows coming up this month of April, and happy April Fool's Day. I think today's the 1st, right?
That's right.
Yeah, we weren't kidding.
Nope.
But
No.
awesome things. Katie and Katie Stafford are coming up this month.
Yes.
Letrian, Terry Brown.
Terry Brown.
Yep. Yeah. Cast of Repossessed.
Yes.
They're going to be on Medium Sky Ray. I think we're going to squeeze Marilyn. I'm sorry, Bass.
Dr. Mary Barrett.
No. Bass.
Oh, you got Mary Lynn in here too.
Yeah, I think
That's
she's coming at the end of the month.
Mary Lynn.
29th we kept open, but we got a touch base, and she does these amazing paintings, and we want to get one of those and put them back there so you can see.
They told her
And
before we left.
there's just like so much stuff in them.
It's crazy. It's
So,
wonderful.
We're going to connect and figure that out. Yeah, Dr. Mary Bassett.
Barrett.
Barrett.
Yeah, it's Barrett. Good
Barrett.
Lord, why do you do that?
Because I'm tired. It's been a long day.
It was a long night last night too.
Yeah, Jennifer Lee, and they're going to come on. We talk about past life regressions, which was awesome. So stay with us. Thank you guys for joining.
Yes, thank you so much.
And we will see you soon. I guess next Thursday. Have a great weekend. Stay safe.
We'll talk to all of the family later. Good night.